Hello from Conjointly and welcome to the Monadic Test tutorial. Monadic tests are a common method of focused testing that exposes respondents to individual stimuli and then asks them to complete a set of questions. Monadic tests are typically used for finding consumer attitudes towards potential product concepts, testing attitudes towards different packaging, testing large numbers of concepts, packaging, and flavors, and rating concepts on several different attributes. This video includes 3 sections: Setup, Survey Flow, and Outputs. Section 1. Setup. To start setting up the Monadic test, you will firstly need to import your stimuli using the quick setup interface. You can prepare a list in Excel, a list of images, or import stimuli from another Conjointly experiment. Next, you can import questions from another experiment. This feature helps you quickly set up a Monadic test using the additional questions from a previous experiment, such as a conjoint or concept test. You can skip this step if you are preparing an experiment from scratch, as you will be able to insert new questions later on. Then, you can choose between split sample, partial sequential, and sequential Monadic tests. Split sample shows each respondent only one stimulus, ensuring that respondents are not influenced by other products in the test, but will require a larger sample size. Partially sequential Monadic tests shows each respondent some, but not all, of the stimuli. You can adjust the number of stimuli shown to each respondent by changing the number in the selection box. Sequential Monadic tests shows each respondent all of the stimuli in a random order. This method requires the smallest number of respondents, but can potentially cause a drop in response quality if you have too many stimuli. After completing the quick setup, you will be taken to an overview screen, where you can adjust the views of each stimuli. Views allow you to insert different representations of the concept into the diagnostic question. You can add images, long descriptions, use fancy formatting, and lots more. You can then add new questions using the Add Question button and selecting the desired question type. You can also adjust existing questions by clicking on them in the sidebar and editing the parameters. Views of the stimuli can be inserted into the question by clicking on the corresponding link. You can then choose respondents using one of the 3 methods that will depend on your targeting requirements. If your sample is quite specific, we recommend using predefined panels. Once you have chosen your respondents, you can save your experiment and prepare for launch. Section 2. Survey Flow. The survey flow of the Monadic test shows respondents a stimulus and then asks them to answer each of the questions set in the Monadic block. The number of stimuli shown to each respondent depends on the type of Monadic test chosen during setup. Section 3. Outputs. Once complete, the Monadic test produces several outputs, including a table of summary, detailed outputs for each stimuli in question, and segmented results. We ran an example study for a new range of conjointly soft drinks, which produced the following outputs. The table of summary allows for a quick comparison of performance between stimuli. This output shows the core summary statistic for each question included in the Monadic test. The detailed outputs for each question is accessed by double-clicking on a cell in the summary table. This output shows all metrics for the question for the associated stimulus, and is used for a detailed breakdown on how that stimulus performed on the question. The segmentation output allows you to compare performance between stimuli for a specific respondent segment. You can set up a new segment in the Segmentation tab by clicking on the Add Segment button, specifying how you want the platform to determine which respondents belong to that segment, and then clicking on the Save and Apply These Segments button. You can also export all data in the experiment as an Excel workbook, which includes confidence intervals where possible, and respondent segments if any are set up. Thanks for watching the Conjointly Monadic Test tutorial. If you have any questions about the methodology, please feel free to contact us at support@conjointly.com.